the West Bank. So Israel left these people in a dire state, in a desperate state, with no options whatsoever. Okay. And after 75 years of apartheid, occupation, ethnic cleansing.
I feel like there are two things you tend to look at as a streamer. Three if you're camera trained. You look at your whatever content you've got. So when you see my eyes looking over here, I'm looking at my I'm looking at whatever content I've got. So my game or Hasan here. And then the second place you'll look is your chat. Now, those are the two places I think that most streamers will look at. So like I say some crazy shit, look for somebody to ban. And then if you're really good, I never do this, some people do this, you look at the camera, right? I want to talk to you and I want to be more personable, so I'm going to look at the camera and be all, you know, social and blah, 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 blah. But generally you're looking at your chat and you're looking at your content. I wonder, so his eyes go between two places, but he's full screened and he's not looking at the camera. So one of these places his eyes are going to is the chat, I would imagine. And then I'm curious what the second one is. Could it be like whatever notes he has to hit the talking points?
Forcing.
You could tell, I guess, based on when he pauses. It does look like the downward eyes here is looking at the whatever he has printed off or whatever.
The endless violence and endless starvation, counting of calories, all this stuff. It's the death and destruction of what it looks like to.
Oh, we might actually be able to look at the reflection of his glasses and tell. Actually, I didn't.
Endless violence and endless starvation, counting of calories, all this stuff. It's the death and destruction.
Here you can see he has netted square LEDs, kind of like my nan light things here. That's the lighting right here. I don't know if you can see his monitors actually.
Of what it looks like to not have what it looks like to try and maintain some sort of non-resistance posture in the West Bank. So Israel.
I think his notes are in the bottom right, and I think chat is to the left. That'd be my guess. Stage left, sorry. The chat is to the right. I think in terms of camera. Stage left is he's looking at the chat. Like I think this is chat, and I think stage right is his notes. That'd be my guess.
Left these people in a dire state, in a desperate state, with no options whatsoever. Okay. And after 75 years of apartheid, occupation, ethnic cleansing, forcing people to live in this complete surveillance state with no autonomy whatsoever, no future whatsoever, of course.
Do you think Hasan is a more dangerous operative than Fuentes in terms of politics right now? Maybe. I feel like Fuentes, I've maintained this a lot, that he kind of fucked himself over the Kanye era. The big issue that I have with Hasan, though, is usually that he is that he lies. I don't like subversive people. Like Fuentes is at least fairly honest about his politics, but is this the current room he's in? Do you think he's looking at this chat usually? These I think are YouTube comments and then another chat. He has chat open twice. Or do you think this is OBS? Or what am I looking at? What the fuck is this monitor? Or is there a mirror here? Oh, I think there's a mirror here or something. Okay, yeah, so it looks like his chat is over here, and then if he's got notes, they're over here maybe. Oh, and then is he scrolling to the next page? Because right there, when he stopped, usually that's like you stop to look at chat to see how chat's responding, but then he started scrolling, so maybe? I don't know.
Surveillance state with no autonomy whatsoever, no future whatsoever, of course.
Maybe make sure he's hit them all and then he scrolls?
Of course people were going to fight back, and it was going to be gruesome because the actions of the people who are occupied, right? The actions of the militant resistance that forms after 75 years of apartheid is going to match the intensity and the violence of their subjugation by the occupier. This is how it works. To steelman the liberal position on this, they're basically saying the genocidal response had not yet happened. So any rally is about how resistance is justified on 10-8 is just celebrating 10-7. Personally, I think that doesn't really track because they are counting.
Now it sounds like he's reading a comment, but here he's looking at the right one, stage right?
Counting on, they're counting in decades of blockade on Gaza and apartheid in the West Bank. Yes, anyone that knew enough about the situation to literally go out to a pro-Palestinian rally on 10-8.
He could have himself on his left. You would never look at your own. You would never look at OBS. I don't think that's weird. I don't think you have a. Yeah. The other thing is he could have somebody putting comments in there for him to respond to. Maybe, but I don't know how active.
Knew exactly what Israel was going to do and knew exactly what Israel...
Well, let me try switching it in my brain. Let's assume the notes are left and then the chat is stage right, I guess.
No future whatsoever.
Wait, here's a live stream of that October 8th. Oh, I don't give a fuck.
Of course.
So is this looking at chat? Maybe? Because it could be scrolling chat.
Of course,
here.
people were going to fight back, and it was going to be gruesome because the actions of the people who are occupied, right? The actions of the militant resistance that forms after 75 years of apartheid is going to match the intensity and the violence.
Another more clear image. Well, I think you're very mindful of what's on your screen when you're doing photo shoots. I'm always mindful of this. So I don't know if you would have notes or something, you would never see it here. Also, I think this might be a lot older, right? This picture.
Of their subjugation by the occupier. This is how it works. To steelman the liberal position on this, they're basically saying the genocidal response had not yet happened. So any rally is about how resistance is justified on 10-8, is just celebrating 10-7. Personally, I think that doesn't really track because they are counting on, they're counting in decades of blockade on Gaza and apartheid in the West Bank. Yes. Anyone that knew enough about track because they are counting on, they're counting in decades of blockade on Gaza and apartheid in the West Bank. Yes. Anyone that knew,
I think the only thing you can see in his reflection in his glass surfaces lights.
Knew enough about the situation to literally go out to a pro-Palestinian rally on 10-8, knew exactly what Israel was going to do, and knew exactly what Israel had done leading up to October 7. It's that simple. I knew. You heard my commentary on 10-8. Like, here, I'll take it one step further. I kickstarted the fundraising initiatives for Gaza a week in after October 7 when no one else was touching it with a 10-foot pole. I talked to someone.
Oh, actually, never mind. We can determine 100%.
In ANERA.
Over here.
One of the many organizations that we...
Fuck me. Hold on. I have to think of how reflections are going to work.
We fundraise for.
His hand comes forward. We're seeing the hand to the right. The chat is stage left. The chat is over here. And this is something else here, right? Because we see this scrolling over here. His hand is blocking this over here. This is stage right on from the camera.
$0.8 million or something larger than that. Obviously, the total was much larger than that. But just this community alone.
I think that this is his chat, and then this is whatever else he's got.
We raised around $2 million for PCRF, Palestinian Red Crescent, ANERA, right? And
hold on.
I had to coordinate with